Apple TV presented by Verilux. It is a crossroads for the Orioles, trying to claw back in the American League playoff hunt. Tonight, the start of a 3-game series against the Tampa Bay Rays. The Rays still have the best record in the American League, but after dropping 5 of 7 at home, the Yankees are the closest they've been in 3 weeks. Meanwhile, a week ago, the Orioles were flying high. They took 3 of 4 from these Rays, but after getting swept by the Yankees, fresh doubt has arrived in Birdland to start this 3-game series. We take a look at the American League playoff picture. Still a crowded mess. The Twins coming off an impressive sweep over the Braves to move into a tie for the final playoff spot. They hold the tiebreaker over the Rangers. And Toronto, despite their injury trouble, they are still right in the mix with 5 weeks to go. As we welcome you into the ballpark, Alex Faust, Ryan Spilborgh's here with you. The Orioles were on the verge of sweeping the Rays just last weekend. It seemed like they had figured out a lot of the problems that had been plaguing them throughout this summer. And then they got swept by the Yankees, and all of a sudden they've lost 4 in a row.
What a wild ride if you're a Baltimore Orioles fan right now, just because it's been up and down. You're waiting for them to get on track, and after watching this last Yankees series, you know against a team like the Tampa Bay Rays, they can get back on track. And what Pete Alonso has brought in his first year to this team has been an anchor. When you think about players moving to new teams, usually it's not right away that you start having an impact. But for Pete Alonso, first in home runs, first in RBIs, first in runs scored, the hits, the extra base hits, he's been fantastic for Baltimore. And during the last 12 games, he has been reigning American League Player of the Week. The average close to 500. He's taking his walks, taking his hits, and he's hitting for power, which is what he's known for. The first 8 seasons, the Polar Bear has done some pretty incredible things. He's 7 home runs away from 300. That's on a list with Ralph Kiner, Albert Pujols, and Eddie Matthews. It has been pretty incredible because last year the Orioles were dead last in first base performance.
Speaking of players on new teams, Freddie Peralta changed teams over the offseason. Remember, he was one of the most reliable starters in the National League last year. This year with the Mets, it didn't work out. In come the Tampa Bay Rays, who hope that they can work the same kind of magic that they've done with so many pitchers and get Peralta right.
The pixie dust of Kyle Snyder, that's exactly what we're starting to see already with Freddie Peralta. This guy, to your point, he was so durable, he was dependable, the strikeouts, the innings, the low whip, everything about Freddie Peralta in that fastball was working. But this year, as we've seen him, as soon as he came from the Mets, we noticed a couple issues. The extension wasn't quite there for him, and he had a lower arm angle. That lower arm angle is one of the biggest decreases in baseball, and there's a reason why it's important to note, because it's flattened everything out. That fastball, not as much swing and miss. The changeup, not as good. The curveball, not as good. However, the last 4 starts we've seen with Freddie Peralta, there's been an increase in extension and an increase in an arm angle.
Yeah, they think it's incremental improvement over those last few starts, but you see there the largest jump in ERA year over year. Also on this list, Trevor Rogers, who will get the ball for the Orioles here today. Rocky beginning to the season, but they believe he's turned a corner as the season has gone on. When we come back to Camden Yards, Trisha Whitaker on Rogers' revival after a horrible start to his season. Friday Night Baseball, back right after this.
Goes a long way.
Ready?
Get 1.9% APR financing or a $2,500 customer bonus on a select new 2026 Tiguan.
Welcome back to Friday Night Baseball on Apple TV, presented by Verilux. We've got a good AL East matchup for you between the Rays and the Orioles, and you will see Trevor Rogers on the mound for the O's. Just 2 weeks ago, he was waiting for a phone call that never came, and it's a good thing because it was a phone call he didn't want. Adley Rutschman was traded, Tyler Wells was traded, Taylor Ward was traded, but Rogers stayed right here, and he described his emotions afterwards to the Orioles media as happy and stoked to remain with this team, and they are right in the thick of that wild card hunt. But listen, it hasn't been all rainbows and butterflies for Rogers all season long. He has had to get it together since the start of May, but after that trade deadline, he came out with a dominant performance, immediately proving his worth, striking out a season-high 9 Angels hitters right after the deadline. He said, this is what baseball is all about, meaningful ball at the back end of the year, and I'm ready for it. I am fired up, and I spoke with Craig Albernaz about Rogers and the difference between him now and the start of the season, and he said, listen, what most people don't know is that at the beginning of May in Miami, Rogers was actually battling a pretty tough go-about with the flu. He said when he came back, it took him a while to get his legs underneath him. He said, but now that he has, we are seeing the absolute best version of Rogers, and the numbers back that up. He's got a 2.45 ERA since the start of June, and guess what? That's good for top 5 in the AL in that span. Around the corner, we'll have much more for you from Camden Yards between the Orioles and the Rays in this division matchup in Baltimore.
For the people.
Tonight's aerial coverage in Baltimore is brought to you by Goodyear. A look from high above Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Down to the field, Trisha Whitaker.
All right, Jackson, last time you faced the Rays, you nearly swept that team. What do you expect from this AL East matchup deep in August?
Yeah, it should be fun. Put together a good week against them last time, and definitely need to do that again. Just got swept by the Yankees, so it would be nice to come out here and sweep these guys, and obviously have a very good team, and we need to play some good baseball.
All right, you're hitting leadoff for the 5th time in the last 6 games. How you like that spot?
Yeah, got a lot of experience there last year. It's a lot of fun to be able to hit in the top of this lineup with guys like Pete and Gunny behind me, and just got to take what it is and go out there and try to get on base for them.
Jackson Holliday, we appreciate the time. Good luck.
Thank you.
Guys, back to you.
All right, Jackson Holliday at the top for the Orioles. Meanwhile, the Rays lineup presented by BetMGM. Rays featuring Chandler Simpson. He's hitting .375 since June 19th. That is the highest mark in the majors by a lot. It's been so much fun to watch with this Tampa Bay team. And Trevor Rogers jogs out to the mound for the Orioles. He earned the win over Tampa Bay last weekend. 6 innings of 2-hit ball, or 6 innings of 2-run ball, I should say. He's allowed 2 earned runs or fewer in each of his last 11 starts after that rocky beginning to the season that Trisha was talking about. Let's go to the beat.
As you're watching this 6'5" left-hander from Carlsbad, New Mexico, he really has good stuff. Inner Harbor piece. Established that inside fastball to right-hand batters. We saw a big increase in velocity in the last couple starts for him too. And ice, baby. We're going to see him tonight after the game. Look at that ERA, 2.45 ERA since June 1st. That's 4th in the American League. And everything as you're watching him pitch, he wants to establish inside. StatCast is powered by Google Cloud. He wants to establish that fastball inside. Has an excellent changeup, but this year the sweeper has been filthy. Batting average against it, very, very low. And if he gets that fastball in, and he's been running it up with some velocity and extension, there's some good hitters in this Rays lineup with power. Yandy Diaz, Caminero. He might be able to eat up and chew up this lineup, and then you get through that top part of the lineup to the bottom where they start trying to bunt on you. It's going to be hard to score on Rogers if he has his ace stuff.
I know starting pitching has been a sore spot for the Orioles for a while, but since July 9th, no team has more quality starts than the Orioles, with 18 of them. Starting rotation on opening day was the deepest it's been since Mike Elias took over as general manager. Though no true ace really stood out. They're hoping that they can get by with the arms that they had. They lost Zach Eflin. They traded Dean Kramer. They're still in the hunt based on where the American League playoff race is at right now. They are right in the thick of it, 2 games back. Their bats went cold against the Yankees. Controversial fair foul call loomed over the series. And they take on a Rays team that has the best record in the American League. Yandy Diaz fouls the first pitch back, and we're underway for Tampa Bay. The Yankees are looming large in the rear-view mirror, only 4 games back entering tonight.
Really interesting, right? Especially with the Yankees offense. It's not great, but they can pitch with anybody. So we're watching Rogers already. He's pounding the strike zone. Fastball's looking good.
Second series in as many weeks between these two teams as Diaz fouls this off. Rays have won 9 straight road games coming in, and 12 of their last 13 road games. Maybe it's a good thing that they're back on the road after dropping 5 of 7, including losing 3 of 4 to these Orioles last weekend. Diaz pops this foul back of home plate. Kevin Cash's club also lost 2 of 3 to the Blue Jays this week. That Blue Jays team just continues to hang around despite all their injury trouble.
Kind of had a feeling with this American League East that it was going to be, you know, if they got good. Fastball inside from Rogers, just missed. The rosters are too good in the American League East. And with Baltimore, you just got to figure out, can you play good enough defense and score enough?
Oh, that bounced off of home plate and right back up under the helmet of Yandy Diaz. Fouled it weakly off home plate, but it bounced right up. Let's see where it caught him.
There's that changeup from Rogers. You get a lot of strange swings off of him, and yep, it basically catches him like a jab to the chin.
He's going to stay in. Ball and 2 strikes. Fouling off a lot of pitches. And Diaz, the weak ground ball, left side, scooped up by Kobe Mayo, and he makes the throw in time. One gone here.
For Kobe Mayo, he's at third base today. You know, he's still a work in progress defensively at third. Nice play. And you know Kobe's going to be challenged today with this Rays team, especially when you start getting to the second half of this lineup, the lower half, they're going to bunt.
Ryan Valade is in the 2-hole for Tampa Bay. Bit of a shakeup to their lineup against the lefty Rogers. Valade has put together a nice little run here of late.
He's done so much damage against lefties. 863 OPS against lefties.
On the ground left side, Mayo cuts it off, throws on the run in time. Two outs made by the Orioles' third baseman as we take a look at the Orioles' defense. Dylan Beavers, Colton Cowser, Leody Taveras left to right in the outfield. Samuel Basayo behind the plate. A lot of focus on Gunnar Henderson after the big error in the 3rd inning last night against the Yankees. First pitch to Johnny DeLuca is popped up in the infield. And Jackson Holliday puts it away for a 1-2-3 first as the Orioles come to bat.
What's everyone talking about?
Yeah, the Orioles featuring Gunnar Henderson, a .979 career OPS against the Rays. That is the 3rd highest among active players. Jackson Holliday to lead things off for Baltimore against Freddie Peralta, who makes his 4th start with Tampa Bay, pitching on 4 days rest. And on the first pitch, Holliday turns on this to left field. Cut off in the gap by Simpson. Holliday digging for 2. Safe. Lead-off double for Jackson Holliday.
That's one way to start it off for Jackson. His 10th double of the year. First pitch fastball. He's wasting no time. And Chandler Simpson left field. He's good defensively, but the arm strength not at the top of his game. So Jackson sees it. It's in front of him. He takes a chance. Good start for the Orioles.
Pete Alonso jumping in the first pitch. And here comes Holliday. Baltimore on 2 pitches has a 1-0 lead. How about that?
Well, it is 90s night here in Baltimore. This is all that and a bag of chips. 2 pitches in, 1-0, and Pete Alonso is raking right now. And they also know with Peralta, last couple starts for him, he's been throwing the fastball a lot more. They're not wasting any time.
Another first pitch swing. This by Gunnar Henderson. So Freddie Peralta, who was lifted after 76 pitches against the Orioles on Sunday, when he walked a few batters in the 5th, charged with the loss, still looking for his first win with Tampa Bay. Finally, a pitch taken. Baltimore had a clear game plan to jump on top of Peralta early.
Especially when you know a starter's been struggling over the course of the year. This is a really good pitcher in Freddie Peralta, but you love when a guy's already on the ropes, especially as he's trying to figure out the perfect combination, get his arm slot back, get the extension back, and the fastball where he wants it. As a group, when you're hitting against this, don't give him a chance to figure it out.
Baltimore coming off being swept by the Yankees. And Gunnar Henderson will draw a 5-pitch walk. Holiday with a double. Alonso, the reigning AL Player of the Week, with a hit in a 13th straight game, and now a walk issued by Freddie Peralta.
Well, let's spill the beans on him. Freddie Cambio is known as Fastball Freddie, but we're changing it up a little bit. Increase in fastball usage, increase in changeup usage now that he's with the Tampa Bay Rays, and keep extending. We've seen some of the extension metrics. He's getting back to where he normally is. And for Freddie Peralta, StatCast is powered by Google Cloud. Here's his arsenal. It is a fastball top of the zone. We're seeing it close to 63% now with that four-seam. Changeup usage is up, curveball, super slider, and the curve. But primarily, he's working with that upshoot fastball when it's right, and then the changeup off of it.
Already a visit from Kyle Snyder.
That's a smart one for Kyle Snyder, just because you're trying to get him to take a breath.
Here's Tyler O'Neill.
Inside.
And he takes the fastball just off the inside corner. The Orioles cleanup man. Slow start to the year, but the 2-time 30 home run hitter has settled in as the year has gone on. Still would love to see more of an uptick. To hit there. This is the 4th start with the Rays for Freddie Peralta after being sent from the Mets to Tampa Bay.
Well, the first 2 starts are 2 very difficult ones when you consider the environment, Colorado, West Sacramento.
Fans O'Neill. That's a big first out. 1 gone. Gives us a chance to look at the weather report presented by Ricola. Clouds kind of rolled in, but you can see off in the distance still you get a pretty good view of the sunset. It's a pretty comfortable night in Baltimore after storms washed over the entire eastern seaboard last night.
Yeah, there's tornado warnings around the ballpark. You had tornadoes in New York.
On the ground from Samuel Basallo. Flip to second for 1 to first in time for a double play. A huge one turned by the Rays infield. Mateo Walls to Liam Hicks for 6-3 to end the inning.
Welcome back to Friday Night Baseball on Apple TV. Well, let's talk a little Chandler Simpson. In the minors, his speed was legendary. Yes, legendary. That's not just media talk. That's not superlatives. It's just fact. And it's more than translated to the big leagues, which was the big question surrounding him when he was called up. Let's talk about where he got his inspiration. He watched a lot of video of hitting champs, and he told me the ones he took the most from, Rod Carew, Luis Ariz. He said they're the biggest influences. He said the bat-to-ball skills, being tough with 2 strikes, tough to strike out, and getting on base. But he also examined tapes of sprinters like Olympians. And I asked him which Olympians stood out the most to him. And of course, he said Usain Bolt from everybody else that he watched. He said if you watch him, he starts with his head down, his body down for the first couple steps, and then he just rises up after about the first 20 or 30 feet, and then they're able to catch their stride. And guys, if you watch him today, that's really exactly how he runs around the bases, and it's really been remarkable to watch this season, not just on the bases, but at the plate too, guys.
Yeah, 35 stolen bases, Trish, which leads the American League. I love what Kevin Cash told us when we asked about Simpson early this year, because we didn't know as much about him. Even though he had 44 steals last year, and still relatively new, and he said he's above fast. When he comes up, all the fielders panic. Rogers deals. Caminero, fair ball up the left field line. And Caminero will jog to second base with a leadoff double. 20th double of the year for Caminero.
Well, Caminero, the last 10 games, has not been hitting at a very high number with the home runs and the OPS. So this is nice to see a little double. Goes down to get it. Talk about putting some fear into defenders with Chandler Simpson. How about being a third baseman when Junior's coming up?
Good piece of hitting. 35 homers on the year, and there's Simpson laying down a bunt, just enough English on it to change the direction and spin it foul. Simpson, who has reached safely in 17 of his last 18 games, he's hitting 400 over that span. But you factor in the bunts, and his on-base percentage is actually lower than his batting average over that span.
This is the part of the lineup where it's going to be small ball. I mean, you're drawing. Kobe Mayo is probably what, 75 feet from home plate. Pete Alonso at first is the same depth, and if Chandler decides to swing, he could rip it past anybody.
Elite bat to ball skills, one of the best contact hitters in the game. Look at those numbers since June 19th. Nobody's close.
He strikes out 9% of the time.
Simpson, ground ball through the hole right side. Caminero waved around. Here comes the throw. It's cut off, and the Rays have tied it just like that.
Now this is all Chandler Simpson and his wheels, because Pete Alonso, he was pulled in so much that he has no angle. Zero angle to try to make a play. This isn't hit very hard. It's 92 miles an hour off the bat. But you'll see for Alonso, he has no space.
Remarkable what Simpson is doing as Mateo lays down a bunt, or tries to.
There's Pete. I mean, he doesn't even get a step and a dive. It's just dive. He's 75 feet away.
You see those split steps too, just to try to stay on your toes. As Mateo, the former Oriole, fouls this straight back.
And if you're at home wondering, well, why are all these players swinging these colorful bats? It's Players Weekend, and players have been given the opportunity to design bats that mean something to them.
Or just to have fun with them.
Or have fun with them.
There are some fun, colorful designs. We were going through both clubhouses earlier, and some players just said, yeah, I kind of like this design, so I'm just going to throw it on my bat. But yeah, others nods to their hometown or some other aspect of their life. See a lot of them with fun cleats as well. Mateo pops this foul, first base side. No more of the nicknames on the back of the jerseys.
Yeah, I was indifferent on the jerseys and the nicknames. Some of them are really funny. But I think the guys, they prefer the swag of their uniform. It gives you a chance to have a little flair out there.
There goes Simpson. Mateo fouls it back. Chandler Simpson, 25 years of age, from the Atlanta area. Talking about the bats, he is one of the 3 that he has ATL sprayed all over it. Stays put this time, and Mateo breaks his bat. Mayo cuts it off and will get the lead runner. Of course, Mateo with some pretty good wheels. They know a lot about that in Baltimore.
Well, we're joking with the roster of the Tampa Bay Rays. They actually have more players from the 2023 team on the Rays than the Orioles do. Talked about Kobe Mayo's going to get challenged today defensively. There's going to be a lot of plays for him. It's been a glaring weak spot for Baltimore. It has been their defense. The other guy that's going to get challenged tonight is Basayo. And Basayo, I mean, we talk about certain guys, work in progress, young catchers. There's a lot on their plate. Still learning how to call and navigate a lineup, call a game.
There goes the runner. Pitch low and away. Throw to second. Short hop is flagged down by Holiday, but he couldn't make the tag in time. And it's a stolen base for Mateo, his 12th of the year.
A good jump for Mateo. This is a guy where, for his career, he has 118 stolen bases now.
He's in scoring position. And the rookie catcher Kenny Piper, in only his 2nd major league game, is behind a ball and 2 strikes. Mateo's sprint speed still elite. It was picked up off the scrap heap by Tampa Bay. There's Piper with a deep drive. Left field. That ball has a chance. It is gone! First career home run, Kenny Piper. It's a 2-run shot, and Tampa Bay leads 3-1.
Rowdy Kenny Piper. Good for you. First career home run. It is amazing when you see someone get that mile marker as they're rounding the bases. It's nothing but smiles. That's amazing.
In only his 2nd big league game, he goes yard.
He got the fastball. Rogers knew it right off the bat. He wanted that pitch in. Left it middle. Watch the smile. There you go.
And most importantly, they secured that momentum right into the bullpens.
There's a smile.
Who's at first base, required to catch quite a bit from Miami, but getting only his 2nd chance at first base with the Rays. Takes on the outer half, and the count runs full. Payoff pitch. And Hicks is tied up. 2 gone in the 2nd. Trisha, what do you have?
Guys, what a remarkable story for Piper. He made his debut, as we mentioned, at 28 years old. And when he did, he told MLB.com, I don't know that I can put into words what my thoughts are right now. He said, this is something I've always dreamt of my whole life. It's surreal. He said, I've been trying to slow down and catch my breath since I got the news. Kevin Cash actually called him and said, where are you? Piper was at the hotel, and he instructed him He said, "Get over here." And then Piper got to make his MLB debut with the Rays. So it's really been a remarkable journey for him, guys. And we'll talk to Cash a little bit about Piper in our manager interview here momentarily.
Yeah, Trish, I'm curious to hear what he'll have to say about a guy who's brought up after a long journey in the minors. Second stint with the Rays this season. He actually was originally recalled on August 3rd. Sent immediately back down, but Victor Mesa Jr. with an injury, a hamstring strain, forced them to make a roster move. Originally selected by the Rays in the 18th round of the MLB draft in 2021. Taylor Walls fouls this off to stay alive.
Good.
Just as soon as the Orioles landed the first blow, Tampa Bay coming right back with a statement inning. 3 runs on 3 hits, including for the rookie Kenny Piper, his first career major league homer, and Tampa Bay is up 3-1. Friday Night Baseball on Apple TV is sponsored by Essilor. Learn more about Verilux XR series and find your local Essilor expert at Essilor.com. Beautiful sky in Baltimore.
You're not kidding.
First pitch swinging, Dylan Beavers, deep center field. Has he done it again? Gone! Home runs in 3 straight for Dylan Beavers. And the Orioles strike back. It's 3-2.
Tell you what, Dylan Beavers made an adjustment about a week ago with his timing, just creating a little bit of momentum, and he has been blasting fastballs. They are jumping all over Freddie Peralta on his first pitch.
Go down.
See a little rock step from Dylan right before he starts his leg kick. It allows him to get to his backside and transfer the weight. And he's been transferring a lot of power.
Down.
3 homers in his first 71 games this year, and now 3 in his last 3. And Todd Gurley out in the splash zone enjoying it, the Baltimore native.
All right. Yes, sir. Thank you.
A little rock back, fastball. I mean, he has been splattering heaters this last week. It's amazing when you unlock a skill set.
They've been gushing about this kid, and now
3-1.
he has the proof to back it up. That's also his 4th homer in his last 8 at-bats.
Ball, yeah.
Wild.
I'll still give you a second. Sure.
Meanwhile, for Freddie Peralta, you mentioned first pitches. Opponents are hitting .403 against Peralta on the first pitch, and that was entering today. Never mind the double from Holiday, single from Alonso, and now the solo homer for Beavers.
Come out!
Full count here to Kobe Mayo. Mayo with a nice at bat. See where Peralta goes here. And Mayo, look out. Trish, that was headed right your way. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, woo, he's awake.
Look out. strikes out.
Here's a fastball for Freddie Peralta. This one has 20 inches of vert on the fastball. That is good to see for Freddie Peralta. That's where he wants to locate. Kobe, it's been tied up. It's a second punch out for Freddie Peralta.
Cowser off the end of the bat. High 0-1.
So 16 inches of vertical break induced is league average. That's an average fastball. If you're above that, that's where you start hearing about the carry fastball.
Cowser up the middle. Diving stop Mateo, and he has no play. And Cowser is aboard.
Cowser gets on top of a fastball. You see the play from Jorge Mateo. Just could not find the baseball. I don't think he would have gotten Cowser going to first.
Cowser, who's desperately needed offense of any kind, takes off from first, throw down in plenty of time. He was dead to rights. And Kenny Piper, have yourself a night already. A homer, and now a caught stealing.
Well, Cowser, you'll see a little bit too late of a break, and it wasn't a full leg kick for Peralta. Very short, quick. It's one of those jumps when you watch it back, you're like, man, I knew I got a late break. You got to shut it down if you can.
In the air, shallow left field. And it'll be caught by Taylor Walls to end the inning. A solo homer from Beavers to make it a one-run game. Well, the Baltimore Orioles, after they play the A's and the Rockies, they will have quite a gauntlet, especially American League East teams. Teams that are in the wild card hunt. Red Sox, Guardians, Blue Jays twice, a series against the Yankees again. There are two ways to interpret this, Spilly, I guess. One is they have the second toughest schedule remaining on paper, Baltimore. Two is all these teams are the ones that if they beat, they could slide right back into a playoff spot.
I always looked at it from a player standpoint is that our destiny is in our own hands. I mean, that's how you look at it. You can control what happens. You don't have to rely on another team to get hot, to help you out. No, you got to play it and do it yourself. The teams in front of you are right there. The American League wild card is it's wide open for anybody.
Yandy Diaz pops this up in the infield. Alonso waves everybody off and makes the catch. A couple moments ago, Trisha caught up with Craig Albernaz. Our manager interview is presented by Sage.
All right, 3 straight home runs in 3 straight games for Beavers. He made an adjustment about a week ago. What are you seeing from him?
Yeah, he's a little more taller in his setup, not getting so, his back leg getting quad dominant. So it just allows him just to stay through the ball a little bit, not getting so uphill. And yeah, 3 home runs in 3 games, we'll take that.
Pete Alonso, you spoke with me before the game about how we are seeing Pete Alonso back to himself. He drove in that run. How good is that to have Pete Alonso at full strength now?
Yeah, absolutely. And to me, it's a testament to the hitter Pete is. Like, just taking this hit up the middle, driving home Jackie. Jackie did a great job of peppering the left center field gap for a double to get us going. So yeah, we have a work cut out for us, but that's right now in a good spot.
Craig, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Guys, back to you.
All right, Trisha. Pete Alonso is on a tear. Reigning American League Player of the Week. Exploded over the last 2 weeks with his production. Up the middle, a base hit for Valade. He's now 7 for his last 15. And A 1-out single puts the 2-hole hitter aboard.
We've talked with Ryan Valade, former Rockies draft pick. And he's been in a great spot against left-handed pitching. You're talking about, you know, when you're in a certain team and the Rays will use platoon splits for advantages, you're going to get opportunities.
That's why he's batting in the 2-hole. Jonathan Aranda off the bench, a lefty hitter who presumably will come in later. Might be in this slot with Johnny DeLuca here. There goes the runner. Swing and a miss. Throw down. Got him. Samuel Basayo showing off the arm, and Valade is erased.
This is now the 9th caught stealing for Basayo on the season at 34 attempts. We got action. This game has a little bit of everything so far.
Don't blink. You'll miss it. Oh, 0-2 to DeLuca. Rogers misses with the fastball. It's been an up and down year for Samuel Basayo, reactivated from the 10-day IL Wednesday. On the ground, left side, backhanded by Henderson. Long throw, couldn't be reeled in by Alonso. And DeLuca is aboard.
Nice play all around. You'll see the back foot slide for Gunnar, so he never has a chance to plant that, gets him on top of it, and then Pete, he's stretching as much as he can. Almost a great play for Henderson, though. Defensively, -5 on defensive runs saved. Does have 15 errors. Tough one yesterday.
I think there were a lot of Orioles fans who turned their frustrations and glares his way. They've set the bar so high here for the last couple of years, and Henderson's been, of course, one of their star players.
I mean, that's not an error. I mean, Taylor Wallace flies. It's a base hit, so it's not. I don't look at that as like a bad play. That would have been a great play.
Yeah, for sure. I was thinking about yesterday and just caught a lot of flack for that error.
And that one, totally understandable too. I mean, Jackson Holliday makes a great play, ranging to his left. The throw's on target. Gunnar Henderson just took his eye off the baseball, and that's happened a couple times this year.
Caminero now has his second hit. Doubled and scored in the second. Keeps the inning going with a 2-out single.
Second time an off-speed pitch from Rogers gets hit by Caminero, and the thing is you're watching his swing. He gets that long stretch. He has so much coverage with his swing. It's just the length of his swing is so long. That's what allows that bat speed. Sometimes he'll get some swing and miss in there. Caminero, as strong and as powerful as he is with the swing, he strikes out less than 20% of the time.
'81 runs batted in on the season as well, which is one behind Pete Alonso for second in the American League. Trevor Rogers already at 52 pitches, working here in the third inning. One-time All-Star with the Miami Marlins in 2021. Ground ball, right side, and Alonso able to cut it off and go the short way to end the inning. 3-2 Tampa Bay, middle of the third. We Welcome you back to Friday Night Baseball on Apple TV, presented by Verilux Lenses. Camden Yards on a beautiful Friday night for baseball. Alex Faust, Ryan Spilborghs, Trisha Whitaker here with you. Top of the order for the Orioles. Jackson Holliday, who jumped on a first pitch, doubled and scored in the first inning. Tell you what, that first could have been a lot worse for Freddie Peralta.
Yeah, I mean, you go back to the Samuel Basayo at bat, first pitch swing on a changeup, double play, got him out of it. And now I want to see second time through this lineup what adjustment Peralta makes in the first two pitches to Jackson. Changeup, changeup.
Holliday up the middle. DeLuca will make a catch on the run for the first out. A couple moments ago, Trisha caught up with Kevin Cash. Our manager interview is presented by Sage.
All right, we got to talk about Piper. That was his first major league home run. He just made his major league debut at 28 years old. How good was that to see?
Yeah, pretty exciting. Very cool. Happy the family's here. We saw him out in Colorado for a game, got his first hit out of the way, and then came in, got a pitch he could handle, and knocked it out.
Chandler Simpson driving in a run. You've talked about his ability on the bases, his ability at the plate, and just to put the ball in play. How valuable has he been this season for you?
Incredibly valuable. I mean, I think that's a byproduct of where they've got to position him. You got the first baseman and the third baseman really pinched in. It opens up a lot of holes.
Kevin, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Guys, back to you.
All right, Trish. Chandler Simpson continues to be a marvel.
No foul.
No challenge there from Piper. And good thing he did not. Alonso shatters his bat. Roller to Caminero, and he'll flip across the diamond in time. Having to navigate that shard rolling his way.
We've already seen two pretty sweet looking bats for Players Weekend exploded. That's way in Pete Alonso's kitchen. That's below the label. And those ones, those hurt your hands. Even with, you see these guys, they have the lizard skin. It's like almost like a little bit of a pad. It helps them with the grip. Gunner's rocking the Call of Duty bat. He was saying that there's a code on his bat that gave him access to play around in Call of Duty.
Can anybody use it?
No.
Foul back this way. Henderson, who is had a rough year at the plate, rounds out here, and he's 1 for 2 on the night now. And it's a 1-2-3 third for Peralta, who's settled in. Coverage in Baltimore is brought to you by Goodyear. Nightfall in Charm City, and one of America's best ballparks, playing host to an AL East battle, the Rays and the Orioles. We head to the 4th inning. A lot of action early. One of the first for the Orioles. Tampa Bay responded with 3 in the second. The Orioles got a solo homer to claw one back in the bottom half of that inning as Jorge Mateo squares around. Made his Tampa Bay debut last Friday against the Orioles. And he grounds one to third. Mayo is there. You mentioned it, Billy. He's being tested here tonight. Let's take a look at this Adobe standout score from the 2nd inning. Kenny Piper, his first major league home run.
Nothing like it. Almost a no-doubter for him, too. The best is he goes to your teammates. Rogers upset because the location he wants that in. Rogers is not going to mess around this time. looks at the sweeper. The sweeper's been excellent for Rogers this year. Usually it's the fastball changeup is bread and butter for Rogers. The sweeper's been awesome. So he goes inside sweeper, changeup away, sets you back up. Now you can throw the hard fastball in if he wants, or goes back to the sweeper. There's multiple weapons he can go to.
Strike on the corner, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Making his 3rd start of the season against Tampa Bay. Got the win last weekend.
I was listening to Rogers talk about his start against Minnesota Twins. That's where the velocity was highest average velocity for him this season, but he did not like where the location was. So it's nice to see his last outing against Tampa Bay was much better for him. And with this extension, he does get down the slope. He's big. 94 plays up.
As Trisha was talking about at the beginning of our show tonight, he thought he may have been on a trading block at the deadline. Said it was the longest day of his life. Piper lays off, and the count runs full. Payoff, and Piper shoots this foul.
We hear that a lot when it comes to trade deadline, with players getting their names tossed out there, and you get a bit of an exhale. But I think as you're looking at some of the moves, the one that jumps out the most, and I think eventually Carlos Narvaez is going to be a nice player for the Orioles. The one that stood out the most to me, the one that caught me off guard, was trading Tyler Wells. Just because the bullpen and taking away 3 to possibly 6 outs away from Craig Alvarez for your bullpen, it makes an impact to the bullpen.
What a bat here from Piper.
Yeah, it's a great at bat. By the way, Tyler Wells got a really nice ovation. Started the game. There's a tribute video on the board as he returned. That was awesome. 11 pitches.
Rogers gets the better of him. 3rd strikeout.
This time he pumps up, goes fastball, 96.
Two gone. That'll bring up Liam Hicks.
Wow.
Time for our scouting report presented by CarShield, as we take a look at the Rays' big trade deadline acquisition in Liam Hicks.
One of my favorite position players to get acquired. Just fits the mold exactly for the Rays. He will ground out, maybe, but he's a good fit for them.
He's been swinging a good bat since joining them. We head to the bottom of the 4th in Baltimore.
Pitching decisions presented by Sage. How about the Baltimore Orioles? They just jumped all over Freddie Peralta and that fastball. They knew 403 batting average against Peralta on the first pitch, and for the Orioles, they came into tonight's game 27th in baseball with first pitch hits. They have 3 of them, including Dylan Beavers, another homer. 3 straight games for Dylan Beavers with the home run, and there's the fewest first pitch hits. The Baltimore Orioles, number 1. You don't want to be number 1 on that list. It's backwards.
Tell you what, both starters have settled in after all the chaos to begin the game. 1, 2, 3, 3rd for Peralta. 1, 2, 3, 4th for Rogers. Let's take a look at all those first pitch hits. StatCast powered by Google Cloud.
Everybody's swinging. So you see 12 pitches seen. We've had 5 swings already, 3 for hits, 2 for outs. It's almost like the last game of spring training.
Half swing there from Tyler O'Neill, who's fanned for the 2nd time tonight.
Freddie Peralta getting that fastball Freddie moniker back. There's a 20 inches of vert, 95, top of the zone.
Tell you what, there is a high probability, because past outcomes would lead you to believe that Freddie Peralta will get back to form.
Oh, yes.
He has all the pedigree to be a top-line starter in the postseason for Tampa Bay. Messiah with a half swing. Tricia?
Yeah, guys, I spoke with Rays pitching coach Kyle Snyder about Freddie Peralta before the game, and he said, listen, we worked with him when he got here. We identified some things in terms of where he was in 24 and 25 with Milwaukee. He said we addressed some hip movement because that's what drives pelvic rotation, and pelvic rotation is ultimately what has a lot to do with a higher core rotation and velocity. So he said we did bring some mechanical stuff to him. We brought some approach stuff to him. And guys, let me tell you, if there's a good place for Freddie to be right now, it's with Kyle Snyder and the Rays. He's a wizard. We know that.
Yeah, no doubt. Let's take a look at Peralta and what he's trying to work on.
So on the left, this is earlier on with the New York Mets. Notice his foot isn't down yet. So when you talk about rotation, making sure you get your foot down so you can rotate. So there he's on the left. Here he is on the right after some adjustments. He also got rid of the windup. So he's out of the stretch, landing faster, down the slope. And I'm with Tricia. I don't think Kyle Snyder has, it's not witchcraft. He's just a guru. He gets it. He speaks the language to pitchers. And when you hear different guys talk about the relationship with Kyle Snyder, you always hear it comes from a place of love. And I think that's really important for coaches when you're trying to get somebody to buy into it. Get to know the guy a little bit and then come from that place of love, because it's easier for guys to buy in.
You okay?
Tricia?
Yeah, guys, what Kyle Snyder does is he simplifies things for the pitchers. The pitchers oftentimes get overwhelmed by how many analytics get put in their face. You know, the Rays are all about their analytics, and it shows by their record. But what Kyle Snyder does so well is he breaks it down into layman terms to make it easy for them to kind of digest all of these numbers and make any adjustment they need to on the mound, guys.
I think one of the secret sauces for the Rays is when we talk to their manager, Kevin Cash, we ask him any pitching questions. He's like, I don't know anything about that. Go talk to Kyle.
Exactly. Stay in your lane.
And there are some organizations that it works when there's more collaboration with manager, pitching coach, front office, what have you. But for Tampa Bay, they have honed in on this formula that the coaches that are involved with their pitchers, they know what they're doing. Peralta is in a groove now. He's retired 7 in a row. Another top rail fastball, 2 strikeouts in the inning as we head to the 5th. Summer break, the Dutch Grand Prix. Kimi Antonelli leading the Drivers' Championship. Lewis Hamilton and the rest of the field looking to make a second half push. Don't miss all the action live this Sunday on Apple TV, the new U.S. home of Formula One. 7, 8, and 9 due up. Beg your pardon. 9, 1, and 2 due up here for Tampa Bay as we begin the 5th. Walls, Diaz, and Valle.
Thank you.
Taylor Walls, one of 3 Rays carrying double-digit hit streaks into today. He has hits in 10 in a row. pops up a bunt. Will wind up in the seats. We asked Kevin Cash about all the bunting that Tampa Bay does. And it's a little bit of a mixture. If there's situations where there are men on base, especially first and second, nobody out, guys just know to do that automatically. Otherwise, they kind of have free reign.
Yeah, they're allowed to do what they want.
Wall strikes out. High fastball from Rogers.
To give you an idea just of how much the bunt is part of the game, you look at the bottom of the lineup with Chandler Simpson and Cedric Williams. It's going to come in a little bit later on. Taylor Walls. They have 31 bunt hits between those three guys.
I'm noticing a theme. Fast, fast, fast. Fly ball, shallow center. Cowser charging in, makes the catch on the run to retire Diaz. 2 gone here in the 5th. Tonight's odds courtesy of BetMGM. Let's take a look at the odds to win the American League pennant. Interesting that the Yankees have edged in front, and this is reflecting postseason, right? The Rays are very much on track to finish with the best record in the American League in the regular season, but there is always that undercurrent of questions about Tampa Bay and whether they can do it in the postseason.
The thing is the Yankees pitching staff, that's been one of the best all around from starters and bullpen in baseball. I mean, there's no denying it. If you saw Garrett Cole yesterday, yikes.
Yeah.
Especially the first couple innings.
By the way, Yankees up 2-0 on the Blue Jays. That's a big series at the stadium this weekend.
They have Cam Schlittler going right now, and his last 3 starts, he's been untouchable. Right now, he's a favorite for Cy Young, but this American League East, we've known this for years. It's the beast of baseball, right?
Quick strikeout of Valade. Just a 9-pitch inning for Rogers. And we head to the bottom of the 5th. Piece of the game. Bid on game used jerseys, baseballs, bases, and more at auctions.mlb.com. And this is for you, Spilly. 32 bites, 1 champion. Complete the ballpark bites bracket for a chance to try items at a stadium of your choice. Vote at mlb.com/bracket.
Trying to stay fit.
You're not going to indulge in any concessions today? As, that first pitch catches a piece of Kobe Mayo, and the leadoff man is aboard. Snaps a string of batters retired for Peralta, going back to the 2nd.
A little curveball gets away from Peralta. Looks like he ended up catching the home plate umpire as well, right on the side of the mask.
Vic Carapazza behind home plate, the crew chief. Cowser. Caminero playing it on the grass.
Cowser was funny today, Alex, because he was like, oh yes, Apple game. And I was like, are you excited for us to be here? It's like, no, I play good on Apple games.
Okay. Cowser, ground ball, flagged down by Mateo, and a wild throw. It stays in play, so only Mayo is able to advance. But a throwing error from Mateo will allow Mayo to get another 90 feet.
I'm going to assume this is going to be a base hit with the throwing error, so Mateo ranging to his left, and then the off-balance throw, nowhere near Liam Hicks. There's Cowser, he loves to play Friday night baseball, gets a bunch of knocks.
2 hits tonight. Single and an E4. And Leody Taveras with a tying run 90 feet away. Corners playing in. Hicks holding on Cowser at first. Squeeze play. That's a foul ball.
Thank you.
Baltimore trying to play a little Tampa Bay Rays version of baseball. That's not quite a squeeze. It's more a bunt for a hit. See if you can move up Cowser. See if you can take advantage.
Cowser dancing off first as Peralta misses with a changeup. Tavares gets a piece. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And now you got Peralta is going to hunt the punch out.
This Orioles team struck out a lot this year, averaging more than 9 per game, 4th most in baseball. Last year at a franchise record in strikeouts. They're on pace for even more this year. And Peralta indeed gets the punch out. Tavares is retired.
Peralta's getting a great feel for the changeup. This changeup he's using a little bit more than 40%. The fade. That's a big at bat for Jackson Holliday.
Runners at the corners with 1 out in the 5th. Ahead 2-0. Since the All-Star break, Holliday hitting .274. His contact rate has taken a big jump over the second half of the season. Remember, had fractured hamate bone, missed spring training, missed the first 47 games of the season with lingering soreness. And this would have been his first full big league spring training. Remember, he's only 22 years of age.
He's only 22, still a pop. He's definitely getting bigger and bigger, though. I mean, he's put some muscle on his frame. I've known him since he was 2 years old.
It's crazy. You guys were catching up prior to the game. Holliday, did he swing? No. Wilson, third base.
Jackson actually thought he punched out. He was walking back to the dugout.
Kevin Cash is barking at Dylan Wilson, and he's been thrown out of the game. And he's going to get his money's worth.
That's what he's pointing at. He's pointing at the reaction of Jackson Holliday. So that guy was walking off.
First ejection all year for Kevin Cash. Oh, yeah.
If anytime you see the barrel go past the hands, for me, that's a swing. You watch Jackson. He's walking off. He thought he struck out. So you get an extra swing, extra pitch.
There goes the runner from first. Holliday, towering fly ball. This could get the run home. Mayo tags from third. Here comes the throw. He is safe. And the game is tied. An extra swing afforded to Jackson Holliday. And he made good use of it with a sac fly.
There's no question the Orioles got an extra one right here. You don't know if Pete Alonso would have come through, but you get that extra swing. You get the sacrifice fly. We got tie game.
You're thinking about controversial calls. The Orioles are still stewing over what happened this week with Alonso. And a homer down the left field line that was not to be.
Can't tell you how many phone calls we took. There's Kevin Cash.
Alonso shoots this one foul.
We've had so many suggestions on how to fix home runs when it comes to that foul pole. Do you raise the foul poles? These ones are short here in Baltimore.
All right, here's my suggestion. File this with the league. Why not paint a line along all the seats so that no matter where a ball lands, you'll know wherever it lands is fair or foul?
It's not a bad idea.
Alonso to left field. This will give the Orioles the lead. Number 30 for the Polar Bear. His third straight 30-homer season. And the Orioles take the lead in the fifth.
There's no debate on that one. That was very fair and very far.
First pitch swinging for Henderson to center field. DeLuca is there, and the inning is over. Pete Alonso, after the inning was extended with a controversial call, he gives the Orioles a 5-3 lead. Friday telecast is presented by authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball. May not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent. I love how you put it, Spilly. Very fair and very far. You think about the Orioles and bringing in Pete Alonso, arguably, if not definitively, best free agent signing of a position player this offseason. As the first pitch is sent to left field here by DeLuca, and it's caught by Kaiser. What say you?
I mean, it's certainly up there. I mean, you look at the overall numbers. We talked about him in the open. For Pete Alonso, he's 6 home runs now away from 300. So the body of work that Alonso's had, and we hear about not just his on-field production, but what he means to the clubhouse. His leadership has been immeasurable, even after losing Adley, and you can go back a season ago with Ryan O'Hearn and kind of how he helped grow some of the younger players. Still think Murakami with the Chicago White Sox for the value of the contract and the performance that Murakami's brought has been good. Okamoto with Toronto has been a really nice sign. So 2 Japanese players.
You mentioned the intangibles, though. I mean, he has instantly become a big-time leader with this group.
Well, and he was talking with Gunnar Henderson about his legs. He was trying to get him to understand. He was like, not trying to turn, over-rotate, use your legs. And for Pete Alonso, he's gone through struggles at the big league level.
Caminero on one hop. Holiday puts it away.
I always think it's so important when you have a veteran leader that has a back of a baseball card that says he's special. And when that person is giving you information as far as how to help you, that shows you buy-in to your teammates, because he's making everybody else around you better. And last year, Baltimore had the worst offensive production in baseball from first base.
Just 14 home runs last year from their first baseman. This year, they're 6th in baseball. And Pete Alonso has hit 30 once again after 38 last year. Also on pace for another 100 RBI season. Never mind that, but he posts every day. Second longest Ironman streak in baseball behind Matt Olson. Takes a lot of pride in that. We saw last weekend when he was dealing with some cramps late in the game. Powered through it. On the ground from Simpson. Alonso foot race, dives to the bag and makes the play. Pete Alonso showing out at the plate and in the field.
Agile polar bear breaking the ice.
Baseball on Apple TV is presented by Verilux lenses. Alex Faust, 7-year Major League veteran Ryan Spilborghs, and Trisha Whitaker here with you, Camden Yards. Beautiful night for baseball. We hit the bottom of the 6th inning. O'Neill, Basayo, and Beavers. And Freddie Peralta back to work. Pete Alonso having himself a night again. Go ahead 2-run homer, the difference right now in the game.
That's what's scary, is when you get a power hitter locked in. You know, and I look at Pete Alonso as he's not just a power, he's a hitter.
Sounded like a broken bat from O'Neill. And Walls makes the putout. I think there are a lot of questions about this Orioles team and why they sit with the roster that they have at 61 and 67. And with the year that Alonso's put up, and with the talent that they've got with Henderson, with pitchers like Boz, Bassett, who's back after an injury stint, why did they have to trade away Adley Rutschman? Basayo up the middle. Walls is there behind the bag.
Please.
That's a great question, especially with this team. I mean, you go 2023 American League East champions, and you have all this world of talent. You hear about the great prospects coming up. You and I have had this chat. There's Mike Elias. I felt like this team has been bitten by the injury bug, and it's not an excuse for the whole reason they're wildly inconsistent defensively. They've made moves from a ownership standpoint to bring talent in. They've spent money. But they've also lost key ingredients. Jordan Westburg down. You know, they lose Nick Pivetta, he's pitching well, down. Ryan Mountcastle, he's playing well, down.
I mean, you think about all the talent that came up pretty much at the same time, and that notable remark from Mike Elias about when these guys first were starting to come up, that it was liftoff for this franchise.
Thank you.
I just don't feel like it's one thing. It's a multitude of reasons why the record is what it is.
Two balls and two strikes. to Beavers, and he lays off. You mentioned fundamentals. Thought they made a really interesting change earlier this season. Cal Ripken Jr. taking a more active role in player development. First time since 2001 he's had any sort of active baseball role with the organization, even though, yes, he is a minority owner. Beavers squares this up. It's in the air, and Valade is able to make the catch. 1, 2, 3, 6 for Peralta, but the Rays trail by 2.
You know better now. We first started down here.
Women's football team. Don't miss Ted Lasso's season 4, now streaming on Apple TV.
I'm on it. Well, cheering on the Lady Greyhounds.
Added to the queue because I gotta get through Plurvis. Just finished Widow's Bay, so working my way through it. Mateo dribbles one. Right back to the mound, and Rogers makes the flip. Kenny Piper, who hit his first career Major League homer back in the second.
It's really fun to see it. I mean, we don't have the StatCast on the size of his smile, but we do know it came off the bat 102 miles an hour. Welcome to the show. 410 feet to your friends in the bullpen. You'll have that memento. Couple first for him tonight, the homer. Caught stealing. Good lengthy at bat.
All the while, all the damage Tampa Bay did came early.
Oh, wow.
Trevor Rogers has retired 11 in a row.
Yeah, Rogers, the last 2 innings, I mean, it's basically 18 pitches. And the bullpen needs a bit of a breather for Baltimore. This is a big innings eater for Rogers. Talking to Craig Albernaz about his ability to manage a bullpen, and he said a lot of the stuff that he learned as a bullpen coach. So that's really important because that's the hardest thing for a first-year manager, and he's been around this game for a long time. But managing the bullpen, you don't want to get guys up late, warm them up, not bring them into the game. That's a big no-no.
Very efficient the last couple of innings. And it fans Piper. Trisha?
Yeah, guys, we know the start to the year for Rogers wasn't exactly what he wanted, but since June, he's been phenomenal. And we spoke with Craig Albertaz before the game, and he said what a lot of people don't know is he actually had a bad case of the flu in Miami in May. He said he missed a couple starts. When he came back, he still wasn't his full self, and it took a little bit to get his legs underneath him. But he said now we're seeing that best version of Rogers. He's in a great spot with delivery, moving down the mound extremely well, holding his velo, sticking his fastballs where he wants it. So, guys, they're very happy with what they're seeing from Rogers since really the beginning of June.
Well, the numbers prove it out, Trish. And now over the last 3+ innings, he shut down this Rays order. Looking to tie a season high 7 innings of work.
The number that really stands out, he is over 70% first pitch strikes, 18 out of 25. And once you do that, you have hitters on the defensive. And even that strikeout of Piper was at 96 miles an hour.
Wow.
Close pitch, and Basayo is going to challenge here.
It's kind of a half-hearted challenge if you go back and watch Basayo. He kind of does like a in-between tap, but he gets it right.
ABS challenge powered by T-Mobile.
It's one of the things that has to improve for Baltimore. They're about 50% correct in their ABS challenges this year.
Basayo is below that. .97 pitches now for Rogers. Boy, if they could get 7 complete out of him, it'd be a huge lift for this beleaguered bullpen. You can tell he's trying to dial back. 97 on the fastball.
I mean, the ball's coming out of his hand hot.
Yeah.
He pointed on that Minnesota Twins outing 3 starts ago. He was loving the velocity, but wasn't loving the command.
96. Closing in on a season high pitch count as well. 101 is his season high. This will be pitch number 100. And it gets away, and it's ball 4. You can tell he's trying to rear back and get a little extra. And he loses Liam Hicks.
Had him 2 strikes, and he just overthrew the last couple of pitches. That's a look of a manager in decision-making time. You got to give him one more at bat.
Drew French. The quick word to Rogers, facing the 9-hole hitter Taylor Walls. Switch hitter batting from the right side. Walls 208 against lefties, 233 against righties. Rogers had retired 12 in a row prior to the walk.
And we know a bunt is part of Walls' game. If you look at the defense, Jackson Holliday's set up right up the middle. There is a push bunt available. If you want to try to knock him out, you can push bunt. Bring Yandy up. That's all Walls is trying to do, is just flip it over to get back to the top of the Rays lineup.
Walls sends this to center field. Cows are going back, and he makes the catch in front of the track. 7 completes for Trevor Rogers, and he heads back to the dugout with a 5-3 lead. Ball right side. Gone!
Rowdy, Kenny Piper.
Home runs in 3 straight.
We got action.
So left field, number 30. Back here at Camden Yards, 7th inning stretch time. Alex Faust, Ryan Spilborg's here with you. What a game. All the action early, and we've seen some of the best from these two starting pitchers.
Yeah, and Freddie Peralta back out there. Trevor Rogers was excellent. The Orioles needed that. They were going toe-to-toe, especially if you look at how this game started early on. Rogers gave up 3 in the 2nd inning. Peralta was punched in the mouth in the first 2 batters.
This is nubbed up the first base side. Peralta off the mound to field. And it retires Kobe Mayo. Changeup has been a big weapon throughout the Rays pitching staff. StatCast powered by Google Cloud.
So to give you an idea, last year, I mean, he was not using it as much as he is right now. And early on in the year with the Mets, wasn't using that pitch either. 45% changeup usage. A lot of it had to do probably with an adjustment in his attack after the first 2 batters. In Jackson Holiday and Pete Alonso, they jumped on fastballs. So that Freddie Cambio, 1 for 9 tonight against the changeup and the extension. It continues to creep up.
That is the hope in Tampa Bay, that little by little, and that's what Kevin Cash told us, that they felt like incrementally Peralta got better through the first 3 starts. Now into the 4th. The big blow was that 5th inning and the 2-run homer from Alonso. As he fans Cowser. All right, let's head to the studio. Sierra Santos with an update from around the majors. What do you have?
Hey guys, Blue Jays and Yankees in the Bronx. Spencer Jones with a 2-run homer. All right, fellas, this might look familiar for the Orioles. It's ruled fair. John Schneider challenges it. The call is upheld. 2-0 Yankees. It's now 3-1 Bombers. Alex and Spilly, back to you in Baltimore.
Ladies and gentlemen, fire up your conspiracy theories.
Spencer Jones, by the way, hit a home run yesterday opposite field.
Dude's legit.
He's got to get the strikeout rate down, but there's no question. I mean, he's freaky athletic.
There's a look at the AL East. Yankees can get the deficit down to 3 games as this drops in for a hit. 2-out single for Leody Taveras. I'll tell you, objects in the rearview mirror are looming large.
There's Taveras with a changeup, kind of keeps his hands on the bat that allows him to keep the barrel through. Let's see if Taveras takes off in the first 2 pitches. 10 stolen bases on the year. He's not going.
Lineup turns over to Holiday. Good night for Holiday. 1 for 2, double, sac fly. Continuing that second half turnaround.
I mean, he just creeped over 1,000 major league at bats. Used to be in the minor leagues, you'd hear about certain numbers, 1,500 at bats for young players, even more if you go way back in time. And for Jackson, I mean, it's doesn't have that many professional at bats, and he's only going to get better. I mean, there's kids in college.
Andrew Kittredge warming for the Orioles. Presumably, he'll come in the 8th. There goes Taveras. Holiday drives this one to center field, but right at DeLuca. And the inning is over. We head to the 8th in Baltimore. The Orioles on top. Friday Night Baseball on Apple TV is sponsored by Essilor. Learn more about Verilux XR series and find your local Essilor experts at Essilor.com. Gorgeous night in Baltimore. And the homestanding Orioles with a 5-3 lead as we head to the 8th, and Andrew Kittredge will come out of the bullpen. Former Tampa Bay Ray.
Well, this is the toughest pocket here in the 8th inning, and we've seen Kittredge. He has 6 saves on the year. It's a slider, sinker, and a four-seam, and what's amazing about Andrew, he gets guys that chase him more than anybody in baseball.
A little hesitation delivery, and he can blitz you with a fastball quickly ahead. 0-2 on Diaz. Top of the order here for Tampa Bay. Jonathan Aranda has picked up a bat. He's in the on-deck circle right now, as we expected, against a righty out of the Baltimore pen. Diaz 0 for 3. See Aranda.
Kittredge has been around for quite some time. Originally drafted in 2008. They don't even have this round anymore. 45th round.
Diaz is put away. Nasty pitch. One gone in the 8th. Let's take a look at our game summary and cap off the night presented by Blue Moon. Trevor Rogers with a quality start. 7 innings, 3 earned.
Yeah, he was fantastic. Fastball velocity was up. He was using the sweeping slider. The changeup was working really well. He's just pounding the strike zone to over 70% first pitch strikes. Peralta gets 7 innings as well, but the home runs ended up catching Freddie Peralta.
So Aranda, actually Ryan Valade is back up there. Aranda goes back to the dugout, and Valade singles up the middle here. Now Aranda will bat. Spelling Johnny DeLuca.
Makes sense too, because with Aranda you want the opportunity with some leverage. So give Valade a shot. Valade gets the base hit. Doesn't have great numbers against righties, but you trust him to take a quality at bat. And now you bring up Aranda. You have Junior Caminero right behind you. And with the runner on first, the right side of the infield is open for him. Kind of like that move.
A little decoy action.
Yeah. Rodney Linares is the acting manager right now. Kevin Cash chucked out of the game earlier.
Linares, who manages the bench, pulling a fast one on the Orioles. As you see the splits here for Aranda, hitting nearly 300 against righties. His OPS more than 200 points better. You see Rodney Linares in the Tampa Bay dugout. Big moment of the game with Aranda representing the tying run. 76 runs batted in on the season, shattering a career high. Top 10 in the American League in hits, runs batted in, but also in double plays grounded into.
We're talking about this bullpen. There's Josh Walker. It's one of the issues for Baltimore coming into the season, was trying to figure out how to get some lefty relievers that are on the plus side. Also saw a move earlier today. Anthony Nunez was recalled from the minor leagues and to DFA. Albert Suarez.
39 pitches in long relief yesterday for Suarez. That was just to get a fresh arm. Suarez the casualty of that. Ball and 2 strikes to Aranda. With Valade off first, his second hit of the night. Here it comes. And a fastball low and away. Orioles middle of the pack to below average with their bullpen, though since the All-Star game their bullpen ERA has improved. And Aranda is down on strikes. A couple of Ks for Kittredge in the 8th.
There's that chase pitch. Talk about the league is chasing over 40% of the pitches with Andrew Kittredge. And Aranda, who doesn't punch out that much, he went fishing.
Bring up Junior Caminero. One home run behind Yordan Alvarez for the American League lead. 2 behind Kyle Schwarber for the Major League lead.
And his power is truly tall fields.
2 for 3 tonight. Caminero, weak ground ball to second, gobbled up by Holiday. And the inning is over. Orioles up 5-3. Alonso, who dropped the hammer in the 5th. He's driven in 3 tonight, and he's due up for the Orioles.
Well, we all know Pete Alonso did not have a great start to the season. He'll be the first one to tell you that. He said it wasn't great for me, but since then he has been the leader for this team on the field and off the field. He said sometimes it takes a long time for me to get to the point where I know I'm going to have a good season. I'm finally there now. He also pointed out, guys, that this is his first time being an athlete and a dad in a season. He said, I think I've finally gotten into a groove with that. And then, of course, guys, I had to ask him, Alonso, was it fair or was it foul? He looked me straight in the eyes and he goes, they called it foul. I said, how difficult was that for you in the moment? He said, well, it would have been a big moment in the game, but they called it foul. And then, guys, he said a mic drop moment. He said, womp womp, and looked straight at the camera when he told me that. I loved that from Alonso, guys.
Yeah, he's certainly taken so much of this season and put it on his shoulders for this Orioles team. Ground out here to short. I think around the trade deadline, too, when the clubhouse was still processing Adley Rutschman being sent away, Alonso went out of his way to introduce a new member of the team. It's caught in the webbing of Taylor Wall's glove. Still managed to make the play. Christian Franklin was making his debut at the time for the Orioles. First pitch, Henderson having to dodge that. Eric Clevenger into the game for Tampa Bay, making his 45th appearance of the year. Tampa Bay making changes in the field with Cedric Mullins in center. Aranda goes to first, and Hicks goes from first to behind the plate. Anderson fights this off. Anderson 0 for 2 tonight. Former American League Rookie of the Year, as Clevenger misses with the fastball.
Well, Pete Alonso mentioned a couple of just small changes to Gunnar. A lot of it dealing with his lower half, getting in the ground. Let's see if it helps Gunnar out.
Henderson, who has been better in the month of August. OPS around 800 this month, best of any month this year. His chase rate has gone down. They're hoping those underlying metrics, which have been showing a positive streak, will continue for Henderson. He was finally dropped in the batting order last week ahead of the opener against the Rays at the Trop. seemed to sparked him a little bit.
Sure. This guy still has 20 home runs. He has nearly 50 extra base hits on the year. But that's the bar you set when you show off and you realize that this guy has a chance of being MVP.
Finished top 5 in AL MVP voting a couple of years ago. Henderson up the middle, base hit. Good piece of hitting from Gunnar Henderson. And a one-out single.
A left-on-left at bat for Gunnar. He came in with a 722 OPS against lefties, actually higher against lefties than it is righties. Stays inside, lower half, secured firmly in the ground.
Kyle Snyder out of the dugout to chat with Garrett Clevenger. Gives us a chance to remind you of MLS coming up this weekend. Full weekend for the league. Saturday night, Lionel Messi and Inter Miami hosts Toronto at 7:30. Then out west, LAFC will take on Portland. Vancouver will face Dallas. All the coverage this weekend live on Apple TV. Runner aboard and one out. The Rays trying to keep this within touching distance. Tyler O'Neill. Pair of strikeouts on the night for him. He's 0 for 3.
O'Neill gets a left-handed opportunity right here. Sandwiched in between Henderson and Basayo. This is where you need him to do his damage. On the year, he has 8 homers against lefties.
8 out of his 10. And he grounds this sharply to third. Caminero to second for 1. On to first. And they go around the horn to turn the double play. 5, 4, 3. And the inning is over. To the 9th. Orioles up 5-3. Apple TV is presented by Verilux lenses. We head to the 9th inning. Baltimore trying to close out the victory in this series opener. And one of their workhorses out of the bullpen is Rico Garcia. Has struggled in these situations, just 5 for 10 in save opportunities. But he's on to close the game here. And he faces Simpson, Mateo, and Piper.
You got basically the troublemaker part of the Tampa Bay Rays lineup. Tough to punch out. Or put some pressure on you if they get on. Most important out in the 9th inning is the first one.
Actually, just a correction on that. Cedric Mullins, who came into the game in center, takes over Piper's spot in the order, so he'll bat third. As you take a look at the breakdown for Garcia, who was great early, not so much lately. Though 8 of his last 9 outings have been scoreless.
Yeah, well, he did have an outing against Minnesota Twins August 10th, could not get an out. But since then, he has been locking it down. So sometimes you got to hit that bottom to go back up. And he's such a great story. Former Rockies 30th round draft pick. Saw his major league debut. His stories, the relationship with him and his dad went to Hawaii Pacific. He's from Hawaii. He's not a big guy, 5'9".
Simpson strikes out. That's tough to do. 1 gone in the 9th.
Rico has an elite changeup. Turns it over, comes out. He almost had that four-seam spin, but then a fade to it.
Don't see swings like that often from Simpson.
No, it's only his 42nd strikeout on the year. in 450 at bats.
Mateo tied up. The Orioles, who have lost 4 in a row, swept by the Yankees this week. Their offense was shut down. They very much could have had the sweep on the Rays last weekend. They led 6-4 going into the 7th on Monday. Yennier Cano couldn't get an out.
It's so strange how some teams just match up against others better.
Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Mateo down on strikes, and the Rays are down to their final out.
Nice little sequence for Rico. Curveball, extra suave, just starts out looking like a strike, bottom falls out. That is 10 punch-outs tonight by the Orioles against the Rays, who are one of the toughest teams in baseball to punch out.
In fact, the toughest. The former Oriole, Cedric Mullins, takes outside, ball 1. It's interesting, you talk about how a team matches up, and for this Orioles team, they seem to have the Rays number right now. They've won 6 out of the 10 meetings coming in. Those 6 wins are the 6 out of a total 9 victories against AL East opposition. That's it. Could be a big one here tonight. Mullins pops it up. Shallow center. Cowser underneath it. And the ball game is over. The Orioles snap their 4-game losing streak. Maybe all they needed was to face the Rays again. Pete Alonso, a go-ahead 2-run homer in the 5th. The decisive blow.
Here we go, this American League wild card, and what this Baltimore Orioles team can possibly do. You get a great start from Trevor Rogers tonight. You got the polar bear hitting bombs. And for the Rays, that snaps a 9-game win streak on the road as well.
Yankees are still beating the Blue Jays as we speak. Rangers are in action. That's the other game on Apple TV tonight. Up to the 2nd. Wild card standings look like this. The Orioles are within a game and a half. Minnesota currently holding the final wild card spots in the American League. And they're in San Diego tonight. That's the AL East. If the Yankees win, it'll be down to 3 games for the Rays atop the division. As we take a look at tonight's PNC play of the game, Pete Alonso in the 5th inning, his 30th homer of the season.
Yeah, pretty amazing for Pete Alonso. He has been red hot last 13 games, hitting close to 500.
Trisha Whitaker down on the field with the polar bear.
All right, Pete Alonso, that 2-run home run. This one was definitely fair. How good did it feel to see that ball leave the yard at that moment?
No, it felt good. You know, I mean, we've been fighting all year, and I'm just really happy to come through for this group of guys. I mean, what a special group, and I'm just really happy I was able to get it done in that moment.
Before you rounded the bases, you turned towards the dugout and pointed towards your chest. Was that kind of you just saying, that's my passion for this city? This is Baltimore, who I play for.
Yeah, no, it's not just my passion. Like, this is who we are. This is what we represent. It's not just the city. It's character. It's a lot of what this team brings, and I'm just really excited. People showed out tonight. It's a really special game for us, and I'm just happy to get the win, and hopefully get back out there again tomorrow and win another one.
Pete, Rogers locked in really after that third inning. What did you see from him tonight that was so impressive?
I mean, he threw the ball really well the whole time. You know, I mean, obviously they got him a little bit, but I mean, he was just really consistent the whole day. He had so much poise out there. He was awesome.
Pete, you mentioned before the game in our interview that this is the first season that you're a full-time athlete and a full-time dad. How big of a challenge is that and a joy in your career?
Such a joy, and honestly, I think the start of it, the start of this year, it's just getting synced up, getting the schedule synced up, and now that we have that, we're all good.
Pete, we appreciate the time. Congratulations.
Thank you. Go God, go O's. Have a good one, guys.
Guys, back to you.
Tricia, he wears number 25 now because that's the year when his son was born. Pete Alonso locked in 6 consecutive 30 home run seasons, and the Orioles win it 5-3. They'll be right back.